Hi everybody, my name is Dennis and welcome back to another album review. And today we're reviewing the fourth full-length album from Imagine Dragons, entitled Origins. Frankly, I hated every single that came off of this record before its release. Natural was more of the same. I'm sick of that style. I'm sick of them doing that exact same style over and over and over. I mean, we did it on Radioactive, which was fine at first. I mean, then we got it on Believer, which was not very good. Now we have Natural, which I think is a bit better than Believer, but I mean, that's not really saying much. It's bland arena rock that has absolutely no substance, but it has some really heavy riffs, dude, to get your blood pumping. And it's just like, come on, can't you do anything different? I mean, they follow such a safe format all through their discography. I mean, they've been making this same song for 5 years. I mean, come on. I mean, even if the instrumentation has changed up slightly, I mean, something like Friction has at least some sort of a unique instrumentation off of their Smoke and Mirrors album, but I mean, it still follows the same, got a soft verse, and then explosive chorus, and it's just like, the gimmick gets old. I mean, it was, like I said, it was fine at first. Radioactive was an enjoyable song at the time. I mean, albeit it did get overplayed, but it was good at the time. But the thing is, they take something that's good, and they beat it to the point where you don't want to hear it anymore. And that's the main issue that I've had with Imagine Dragons as of late. Every time they have something half decent, they just beat it to death, and it's sickening. It's just sickening. And I mean, honestly, there is not a single good song on this album. Not one. There's not one. I mean, Boomerang is a horrible amalgamation of trying to be sweet, but just singing about a broken relationship. I mean, it's like, I keep coming back to you like a boomerang. Get it? Because when you throw a boomerang, it comes back to you. And I'm too stupid to realize that this is an unhealthy relationship, just like I keep coming back to you. Do you get it? Do you get my joke? Da 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 da. It's like, it's such a basic metaphor. It has such a lack of effort put into it. It's so unpleasing. It is frankly just disappointing. I mean, literally anybody could write something twice as good as this. And it would take just a smidge of effort, and you could easily write something better than the vast majority of songs on this album. Machine is pretty disgusting also. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to be a part of this machine anymore. I'm going to be my own person. I don't need the government to tell me what to do. And it's just corny. It's really just horribly corny. Has pretty irritating instrumental behind it too. It's just not good. I mean, the performances, both production-wise, vocal-wise, message-wise, just aren't good at all. I mean, Bad Liar is another one like Natural, following that same format that's gotten way too old. But on top of that, it has some really grating instrumentals in the background. I mean, like, Natural is horrible. It's horrible, but at least the instrumental outside of the context of Imagine Dragons has already made this multiple times before. The instrumental isn't half bad. But Bad Liar, ugh. I just want to throw up even thinking about the song. It's horrendous. It is disgusting, and it's insulting to the genre. West Coast is a bland wannabe folk song. It tries to have like a nice simple guitar, and it just comes together as like a bad country folk mashup wannabe. It's forgettable. There's so much better out there, and it may not seem that bad on the album, but that's because the album is really that bad. Zero is as boring and plainly generic as you can get. There's not much to say about it. It's just horrendous. Then we get to Digital, and Digital is disgusting. I mean, I say that about a lot of the songs on this album, but Digital is its own brand of purity disgusting. It doesn't know what it wants to be, so it tries to be everything. It starts off as a simple 4-chord song. You think, alright, this isn't half bad. And then it goes into some electronic rock with some horribly sung vocals, and then it switches back to a pretty irritating guitar with some electronic noise rising in the background. And we go back to bad EDM breakdown. It wants to be so many things. It wants to be like, oh, we're trying to be new, we're trying to be experimental, and it's just disgusting. It's so poorly done in every way, shape, and form. If you want to make something experimental, this is debatably even experimental at all. If you want to make something experimental, go see how real experimental artists do things. I mean, go check out Clarence Clarity has some great experimental pop. Death Grips have some amazing experimental hip-hop. I mean, there are people you can look at for some sort of inspiration if you want to do something new. Look at what these people are doing. See how they reinvent things even if they are somewhat familiar. It's just a disservice to experimental music, in my opinion. I mean, Only is a bad dubstep song with mediocre at best vocals. Stuck doesn't seem half bad at first, and then you get to the chorus with a time goes by and still I'm stuck. And it's just so poorly sung. I mean, dude, come on. Like, get your vocals in line before you try to make a song. My God. I mean, regardless of any sentiment these songs have, they're all poorly written with poor messages at best. I mean, Bullet in the Gun is probably an exception to this. With Bullet in the Gun having actually a decent writing, tackles topics of like depression and even suicide in a somewhat respectable manner. I can't really fault it on that. But gosh, this is some of the worst singing on the album. The way like every single line ends with such a high note, it's like la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, and it's just horrible. I mean, I want to enjoy what you're saying, but gosh, you make it such a hard thing to listen to. And many people may reference Cool Out as being well produced with some light, almost retro style synths, but I mean, it's decent in comparison to the rest of the garbage on this album, but I mean, it's still some hot trash. You want some good synth pop, go listen to the new MGMT record. It came out early this year. That was really great. I enjoyed that a lot. That's some really great synth pop. Cool Out is not. It is not good synth pop. It's passable at best and irritating at worst. Love is pointless. The song Love is pointless on this album. It closes off the album, and I mean, it's a wannabe Where Is the Love by Black Eyed Peas. I mean, because the whole thing is like love, 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 where did we all go wrong, and it's like they want to say something interesting, but they never have a line to back up what they're saying. Like, alright, you're telling me we need love. You're telling me that some people hate other people because of their race. That's cool. A 10-year-old can deduce that. What value do you have to say on this? I mean, Black Eyed Peas have a lot of valuable things to say on Where's the Love and even their more recent Big Love. I mean, those tackle this topic so much better. I mean, it just makes it pointless. It really just makes it pointless. And that is the worst crime committed by this song here. It's not the mediocre production. It's not the mediocre vocal performance. It's just the lack of a purpose. I mean, the song isn't horrendous in its own right. It just doesn't do anything. If you want to listen to something like this, like I said, go listen to Black Eyed Peas. They do it 100 times better. I mean, with the emotion they put in their vocals, to the messages behind their lyrics, to the quality production, and although the hook of Love is a bit catchy, you don't listen to something like that because it's catchy. You listen to something like that because it manages to sound good and have an amazing message on top of it. And unfortunately, it does neither of these things. And there just isn't much more to say. There's so many irritating things about each of them. I mean, like, the way too hard melodramatic vocals on Natural, the horrible messaging on Boomerang. I mean, the irritating I'll be on West Coast. There's just something to pick out on every single song on here that is just grating on the ears. Or grating on the mind too. I mean, Machine is horribly corny in its lyricism. Digital is just an entire mess of a song. There's nothing of value you can get from that song whatsoever. It's a disgusting excuse for music, much like the rest of this album, and I'm just going to go on a repetitive rant at this point, so I'm going to close it off here. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. If you really want to listen to it, tell me what you thought about it. Tell me how wrong my opinion is, as always, and I'll see you in the next review.